Ministry of Sex Equality. I'm here tonight to explain the situation man to man. Or as we have to say now, person to person. My name is Mr. Stroke Mrs. Barker. But I don't advise any of you to try it. Stroke Mrs. Barker. Now, due to this new law, no one is allowed to be called male or female, man or woman. Now, this has already caused a great deal of argument in Parliament, so they're all going for a parliamentary conference at Manchester, or as we now say, Personchester. They will all stay in a nudist colony and air their differences. Members only, of course. But how does this affect you? Well, is it easy to become unsexed? Well, it can be done. And I represent the proof. At least half of me does. The other half represents the poof. Now, the first thing we have to realize is that for too long, women have been beneath men. Not only in the home, but in the office as well. And there are many ways in which we can change that. Vertical desktops, for a start. Now, the main area of change, of course, will be in the language. The man in the street will become the person in the street. Whoever you are, whether man or woman, you will be the person in the street. Incidentally, when I was in the street the other day, I nearly fell down a person hole, so be careful. Now, certain professions will have their names changed, from the chairperson of a large company right down to the humble dust person. Not to be confused, of course, with the famous film star Dustin Hoffman. Now, speaking of films, there will be special feature films made showing the equality of the sexes, already in production, a new musical called 7 Persons for 7 Other Persons, starring Paul Newperson with choreography by Robert Helpperson, and music by Person Tavani and his orchestra. Now, dress. Dress, of course, you won't be able to expect. You won't be expected to dress like this. This sort of costume is much too expensive. Half a knicker certainly doesn't cover it. Each person can, of course, choose what to wear, provided it includes the customary shirt, bra, underpants, and handbag. Shoes can be black or brown, according to individual taste. I, myself, find that black shoes taste rather better than brown ones. Jobs, too, will be entirely sexless, with 1 or 2 obvious exceptions. What are they, you may ask? You may ask, but I'm not telling on this program. But here is a clue. They have jam on them and appear at tea time. Now, a job must be open to either a what's it or a who's it, that is, of either sex. For instance, certain advertisements will not be allowed. Now, I have one here in the local paper, and it says, if I can find it, oh yes, bar staff required for West Country pub, male or female, must have big boobs. Now, of course, that won't be passed by the ministry at all. What they should have said was, bar staff required, male or female, must be attractive in the Bristol area. That would have got past. A recent idea by the ministry to avoid confusion is to call a man a doings and a woman a thingy. This offends no one and makes conversation clearer. Thus, we instantly recognize the book called Little Thingies, or the musical called My Fair Thingy, or the play by George Bernard Shaw called Doings and Super Doings. There are times, however, when it sounds better to stick to the word person. The person in the street is still better than the doings in the street, of course. That's something to look out for and steer clear of. Finally, don't let this new law alter your life. After all, what's in a name, as the great John Fat Pimple once remarked? I know that whatever we're called, my own dear Thingy and myself will carry on as usual, wearing each other's clothes. And that however we, the people, are thought of by the ministry, tonight, all over Britain, all those thingies and doings will be together in front of the fire as usual. Good night.